I am here to do this video on the time I became homeless. Okay, I noticed there are a few YouTubers who making videos and they're while they're homeless. Unfortunately, I didn't have YouTube when I became homeless. My homelessness became quite a few years ago. And the way I became homeless, because there's always a reason why someone become homeless, and it was well, okay. The way I became homeless is that I was renting a townhouse, and I had been there for about 5.5 years. At the time, I was there for about 4 years, and the people who owned the townhouse, they wanted to sell it. And not only they owned the one I was in, but they owned one across the street from me. And he wanted to sell it, so my son was in high school, and I asked, could I stay there until my son graduated, and I guess I put the year down or whatever, and he granted that wish that he would let me stay there until my son graduated. My son graduated in June of 2002, and in July, on July 4th, I received a note on my door. They gave me a 30-day notice, so he wanted me out. So I got the 30-day notice on my door July 4th of 2002. So I'm like, I felt just awful because the time came so quick, and I didn't realize, he really wanted to sell the townhouse. So my kids were, let's see, my daughter, she wasn't in school yet, but neither one was in school. I'm sorry. But anyway, each summer my kids will automatically, they will go to Las Vegas to my parents' house for a couple of weeks out the summer. So that plan never changed. So I was packed up and out on August 4th. The problem was that I didn't turn in the key on August 4th. So I put all my things in storage, and most of my furniture and everything went into my brother's garage, which he had lived in Redlands. So I rented the truck, I loaded the truck, and then my brother drove it, and him and my son unpacked everything. And so our main things that we needed, like clothing and stuff, I put it in the storage, and I then took my kids to Las Vegas. I did a turnaround trip. I came home because I had to continue to work, and I stayed with 3 people. So the first person I think I stayed with, I was there by myself. I looked at homes, video recorded homes, found a home. I picked up my kids and from Las Vegas. My son had finished, he had graduated already, so I left him in Redlands at my brother's house, where my furniture and stuff was packed in his garage. And my daughter, she stayed with me because she was getting ready to start kindergarten. No, actually first grade, because she did kindergarten in a private school. She did preschool, and then her preschool went to kindergarten. So anyway, I was going, got my papers and stuff for this house. I got it inspected. I got the plumber to come out to do some plumbing, to check out the plumbing. I bought paint for this house. We painted every room except the bathroom to my bedroom. And I was looking for a sliding glass door, because this is the way we're getting into the house, through the sliding door that was no longer, I can't remember exactly what was wrong with it. Let me see. I have, put a deposit down, all these things. Well, because it was being my very first home I was buying, the man at the real estate company, I won't say the name, he promised me, yes, you'll be in your house for Christmas. So, by this time, I had moved my son and me and my daughter into a hotel or a motel. So we were able to stay 4 weeks at a time, and then we had to move next door, and was a regular hole-in-the-wall motel. So by the third time I came back to her, the next door, she told me, I don't care what these people say, I'm gonna make you permanent, you don't have to move out. I had to pay, I was paying about $360 some every week to stay in this motel. But there was a phone there was cable there, I didn't pay for electricity. I had a full-size stove, full-size refrigerator, a small living room, and a bedroom and a pull-out couch. So my son, he stayed in the pull-out couch, and me and my daughter, we stayed in the room. I brought an extra TV for the bedroom. So anyway, she made us permanent, so I was like thanking God. I was like, oh my gosh, you just don't know, she made my day. And not only that, she brought the payment down to, I believe it was like $242 or $262. I can't remember exactly. But it was like, I was like, thank you. I was like, thank you. So from that time on, we stayed there for a year. And the reason why we stayed there for a year, because when I had my cousin to look at all my papers that I was buying this house, she told me, she says, you know what, there's something strange. Because, let me back up a little bit. Now, the man said I'll be in the house by Christmas. I'm like, okay, cool. So we held on to my daughter. She didn't have her Christmas. She actually didn't have her Christmas until like March, because we're still in the motel and I didn't move into the house yet. So come to find out, in January of the January after we were supposed to be there by Christmas, he comes to the beauty salon, or he calls me. He said, I need $1,500. And I'm like, oh, okay. So he meets me at the beauty salon, and I give him $1,500. So I look at him, I'm like, you're gonna write me out a receipt, right? This man come to pick up $1,500 from me. He ain't had no receipt. I'm sorry, y'all couldn't see me. He had no receipt, none. So I had a receipt book, and I had him to write out a receipt for me. Okay, like I said, that man had no receipt, so I had a receipt book, and thank God I had a receipt book. Now remember, I done told you, I almost bought a back door for this house. I painted every room except the bathroom of my room, of the master bedroom. I think that was about it that we did. But I had inspection. I had paid for the, I forgot what you call it. I may have to add the word somewhere at the top, but I put out money, right? And then I shelled out money to him. Anyway, my cousin, she was looking at the papers because she was also looking for a home, but she didn't actually look for a home yet. She had that buying a house for dummies or something like that, and she said, you don't have the right papers, something's not right. So she wrote me a letter. I still have that letter today, and I faxed it to this company. I had manager's name, his name, and no, actually, I'm sorry. Before I did all that, I talked to him. So he wrote me a check for the $1,500 because I'm trying to get my money back. I took that check to the bank for 3 or 4 days straight. And the lady at the bank, she was like, okay, let's see what this crook have. And I was looking at her all weird because, first of all, when he wrote me a check, he scribbled off his address and he just left his name up there. So I didn't get my money back that way. So I faxed them a letter my cousin wrote out for me, and I went there to pick up my money, and the one of the ladies said, oh, so how you like your house? You're in your house, right? I'm like, no, because come to find out, the house that I was looking at, somebody else was buying it. So he was stringing me along. I lost out money. I can't think of what that other part of the money, they hold money for the down payment. I cannot think of it, what it's called. But the reason I found out how, or they were selling that house to someone else, I had a friend that was into real estate, and she called the company, I can't think of what it's called, and they had a $500 in mind. They only wanted to give me back, I think, $100 or $200 because somebody else was buying the house. I'm like, please. I'm like, you know what? It's not fair that you guys are taking my money. And I had no idea that the house is being sold to somebody else. So they gave me like about $300 out of my $500 back. So anyway, I did get my money back because I did put everybody's name on there. I had numbers, I had everything. And that is the reason why I became homeless, because I was looking for a home. And I'm thinking about this, and I'm feeling some kind of way. Sometimes story times can be hard to tell because you got to go back there and feel it. And sometimes it's like I'm getting pissed all over again. So by the time I bought a house, because I actually did buy a house, it was 2 years later. Well, it was somewhere within a total of 2 years from the very first time I was trying to get a house. And prices had doubled. So now I'm in a situation where I was there for 3 years, but I just couldn't take it because I want to tell y'all why I couldn't take being in that house. So you have to come back for part 2.